So today we'll be looking at the last idea, cumulative frequency curve. In some places, we also call it that. What is that? How do you say it? I don't know, what's right? How do you say it?
Ugly.
Yeah, just ugly or something, whatever. I didn't even memorize that. But cumulative frequency curve is also a statistical representation of continuous data. When I say continuous data, I mean group data. So 10 to 20, 20 to 30, and so on like that. It's like your line graph. Maybe should I say line graph? Maybe not. Okay. So it's always like this, and the shape is always in this form. Usually, you plot your intervals against cumulative frequency, not even against frequency. So that's what makes it special. Cumulative frequency. Does anybody know what the word cumulative means? Everything together. So when we talk about cumulative frequency, we're talking about everything together starting from the beginning. So if I have a table of maybe age range, I have 1 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 30, 31 to 40, let's stop here. In this range, maybe there are 3 people, here there are 7, here only 1 person, and here there are 40. That's too much. They're gonna kill it. Say 9. Okay? This is the frequency, which means number of people present in that range. In this cumulative frequency curve, we use the cumulative frequency. That is the frequency from the beginning. So from the beginning, the frequency is 3. From the beginning up to this point, it is 10, which is everything from the beginning. Okay? Up to this point will be what? 11. And up to this point is what? 20. Usually, the summation of frequency is always the last cumulative frequency. Okay? Are you lost? So when we plot our cumulative frequency curve, we always plot against the cumulative frequency. So the last cumulative frequency, which is 20, will be the last here. Okay? So for here, so you just plot, you start from 0 to be from 0. For the first one, so this is 0, for example. I'm just giving a sketch, all right? So let's say this is 10, 20, 30, and 40, so like this. So for 10, so it's more or less with the upper bound of the class, okay? 10 is 3, so this point is like 3. For 20, that's why the curve is always continuous like that, because it keeps increasing, okay? 20 is where? 10 here. 30 is what? Talk to me. 11, and 40 is the last one, which is what? 20. So this is your cumulative frequency curve. So if you look at this curve, if I ask you, maybe this is age, right? Age range. And the question is, how many people from this cumulative frequency curve, maybe you do not know this table, how many people are between the ages of, how many people are more than 30 years? So I'm asking you from here to here, right? So indirectly, I'm asking you the gap here. Okay? But if you are not careful, you have to be careful that you have to actually subtract. What is this point? 11. What is this point? 20. So up to, from here to this point, there are 11 people. That is from 0 to, from 1 to, no. For this 11, it represents from age 1 to age 30. Okay? This 20 represents from age 1 to age 40. So how many people are between the two range? You have to subtract. That's some of the questions being asked indirectly. We'll take one of them and we'll solve it together now. But before I move into that, I just wanted to introduce the idea of cumulative to you. And that's what I'm trying to do here. Cumulative means the addition from the beginning. That's what makes it different from the other curves. If you draw your histogram or you draw something else, it's always with frequency. Does that make sense? Hello, talk to me. Yes. Most of the other charts or whatever is always with frequency. This is the only one that is different from all of them. It's always with cumulative frequency. We use that to do some, should I say prediction? No, not quite prediction. Some of the questions we will answer with cumulative frequency involve percentile. I don't know if anybody has seen something like this before. Where do you belong in your class, or where do you belong in the examination? So maybe we write IGCSE, and Cambridge is trying to determine, is she alright? Are you okay? Now you can put your head down if you think that will make you recover in the next 5-10 minutes. I can allow that, as long as you're listening. Okay? Cambridge might be trying to determine if you are in the 5th percentile in the whole world. Top 5th percentile. Now listen to what that means. Top 5th percentile. Usually percentile sound like percentage, right? So top 5th percentile means from 100 back to 96. Do you agree? Like who are the students in this range? Top 5th. I think that's like 96 to 100. The top 5. You get what I mean? The 96 to 100 is 5 in class. Okay? So if they plot this kind of graph, they could actually determine that. So we're going to learn what is percentile, what is decile, and what is all this interquartile range and all that. So that's the next thing I want us to look at. And I'll write it in short form. But that's the way it actually sounds. These are measures. The measures will be calculated with this. You might have seen them in those papers. They are called the fractals. There are 3 of them. Fractals to calculate here. Fractal from the word fraction. Okay. So the first one, let's talk about the quartiles. Quartiles sound like what? What does it sound like? I didn't want you to memorize what it means, so I want us to discuss. What does it sound like? What number? It sounds like quarter, which signifies what? 4. It goes with number 4. So quartile is the measure that divides your distribution into 4 equal parts. If I want to divide this into 4 equal parts, this rectangle, how many lines do I draw on the board? 3 lines. What would be the best way to do it? Which one do I draw first? The middle one. Thank you, Ansi. Okay? After I do this, what do I do next? Then I do 1 here, like this. If I do that, also is the same. If I do this, is it I divide horizontally or vertically? If I do this, I divide into 4 also. But I want, how do I say, in the same direction, horizontal or vertical. There's a reason for that. So this middle one, this one is the one that divided into 2 equal parts, right? This is the second quartile. The second quartile, the first quartile, and the third quartile. Or we call this the lower quartile and the upper quartile. Okay? Now, this second quartile has a name that we are familiar with. What is that thing that divides the distribution into 2 equal parts? In statistics. I don't know why you had to bring that in. In statistics, something divides our distribution into 2 equal parts. What is that? What? There is a measure we always calculate, and it signifies something that divides our distribution into 2 equal parts. What is that? Median. What is all this bisector, intersection? What is all that? Median. So this is your median. So your median is actually the second quartile. So when the question asks you to find the median, it signifies Q2. This is Q1 and this is Q3. And you don't need to memorize. This quartile is 4 fractions. Okay, it's 1/4 of the distribution. So this is the fourth 1/4. This is 2/4, which is 1/2. That's why it represents the median. And this is 3/4. I'm going to write something on the board, please. I do not expect you to start answering questions now. Can you put all this stuff away? And if you know what to do, you can let me stop here, then you can continue with whatever you want to do. So a quartiles divide the distribution into 4 equal parts. That's why there are 3 of them. Now, if I want interquartile range, what does interquartile range? Let's start with the word range. What does range mean? Largest minus lowest, right? So interquartile means among the quartile. What is the range? When you see this in question paper, I do not want you to memorize. That's why I'm breaking it down in this form. The word range means the difference between the highest and the lowest. But range of what? Range of the quartile. Range among the quartile. That's why we call it interquartile range. So that will be Q3 minus Q1, because this is the largest quartile, this is the lowest quartile. So when you see the question, calculate the interquartile range, basically you are calculating Q3 minus Q1. How to calculate Q3, Q1, we'll talk about it very soon. Does it make sense? Another thing will be semi-interquartile range. What do you think that will be? Half of what? Half of the interquartile range. I don't know why everybody is being quiet and just 2 people responding. Semi-interquartile range, that's another measure you might be asked to calculate. So this simply means half of something. So if this is the interquartile range, then this is the half of it. So that is what the question asks you to do. So that is one of the measures you might ask to calculate. Another measure you might ask to calculate is the decile. I don't think that's common in IGCSE. What fraction do you think this is? 10. So this is a measure that divides the distribution into 10 equal parts. So if I want to divide a rectangle like this in 10 equal parts, how many lines do I draw? That's why you only have D1 to D9. Okay? Now, the last one is the percentile. Percentile has to do with what? 100. So you have P1 to P what? 99. Does it make sense? And one of them is the median. Which one is the median?
50.
P50. Okay? Also, one of them is Q1. Which percentile? P what is Q1?
25.
P25. And P what is Q3? 75. So those are these measures. I'm going to write them now. So please take note of this in your notes. These. Okay? Giselle?
So fractals are
All of them. That's the general name. That is, if we put it in fraction form. Of course, what fraction is this? 4. This is tenths. No, 100. This is 10. Again, range is highest minus lowest. Interquartile range means range among the quartiles. And if this is the highest, this is the lowest, the range, interquartile range will be Q3 minus Q1. Okay, and each of the Q3 or Q1 will be calculated separately, then the subtraction will be taken. Semi-interquartile range is not so popular, but just in case,
Why is there no Q4?
what?
Why is there no Q4?
Like we said here, if something is, if you want to divide this into 4, you need just 3 measures to divide into 4 equal parts.
So a Q is a measure?
Yeah, the Q are the measures that divide it. They are all measures that divide any distribution into certain equal parts. Okay, so see the measure as a line. It's like asking how many lines do you need? You have not started?
No, should I turn it off?
No. Let it continue. See those Q whatever as a line. So if I give you a rectangle and I ask you how many lines do you need to divide into 4 equal parts, there will just be 3 lines. So those lines are the measures. Those lines are the quartiles. Okay? These are the things you will be asked to calculate on the cumulative frequency curve. That's why I'm discussing them. The decile is not so popular, so the other popular one is the percentile. Okay? Equal, for equal parts, not just any 4 parts. For equal parts. Any DI will be I over 10 times n to get an estimate of where it will be. Okay, these are estimate of their position. This is what you calculate and trace it on the cumulative frequency curve where it will be. All right, we'll demonstrate it on an example. D5 is actually the same as Q2.
So Daniel,
Yes, sir, ma'am.
should I be up to D9? Up to
Oh,
10?
sorry. My bad.
What does I represent?
Any number. So if it is D1, it's going to be 1 over 10 times n. What I've written there is because these are just 3, so it's easy for me to write. I could have just said Qi is I over 4 times n. So when I is 1, I have 1 over 4 times n. That's n over 4. When I is 2, I have this. When I is 3, I have that. Yes?
No.
47.
What was that 47? Oh, sorry.
You can take a break if you want. I need to go out. Stroll out.
I'm not.
Yeah. So here, PI, Justin, will be what? Give me a similar formula.
I over 100.
That's it. We will do this in more. We will take question 1 to explain this, then you can do question 2. Unless you want to write it later. It's not that you want to write it before. Does anybody have questions so far? We will use it in a more applicable form now in the question, then you can see how it is used. If anybody knows how to do, of course you can proceed. But please, on your graph, there should be no pen. I hope people who take some of these things for granted don't end up shooting themselves in the leg in exam and expect A star, and after you must have done a lot of work, you end up seeing a B, just because you can't just listen to instructions. Yes. What do you mean? Total range. You know this is the answer, right? So it's a meter cube as the unit. But in the question, the unit will have been placed at the corner. You just have to fill in the number. So that's fine. Yeah. So did you trace n over 2? So total n is 200, right? 200 over 2. You trace 100 to get this? Yeah, that's it.
That's just trying to work out how do we get like the units.
I don't think IGCSE cares, but you know, it will have been nice if you put it so that even if you make mistake here, citing that can fetch you some points. When you see mark scheme, you see some of the partial marks. Read some of those contents, then you see why some of these things are very important. If there was one partial mark for citing, still confused? What did you say 500? N represents your cumulative frequency, guys, or total frequency. N is your total frequency. I think we can go for a break now. Okay. N represents your total frequency, which is the last cumulative frequency. Okay? N represents your summation of frequency or the last cumulative frequency.
Yes.
Okay? N is summation of frequency or the last cumulative frequency. Okay? So please take note of that. N is always summation of frequency all the time, and that's your last cumulative frequency. Shall we go for a short break?
Yes.
So when we come back, we'll see how we can use this in questions.
So Daniel,
Yeah.
you know, I really feel bad for math class
Why?
because it's on Monday. We have the least energy on Monday.
Thank you.
What?
No, like for the interquartile range check.